We'll just do this in double time. So you take this, you move the camp towards your next one. Here, let's just do it like this. Went a little bit too far on that. So you take this camp, you try to move it over. Anytime that you can, you use your Q against the wall so you get a faster thing. And you should be able to make it all the way through this. All right, by making it through that wall, and you can make it out of your camps very, very quickly. Now right here, this is where I change things up. Normally you just go, take this, you're out by 325, 326. Maybe since I missed, I'd probably be 2 seconds later, but still before scuttle, I'd be okay. But because this guy showed and went for that gank bottom, I wanted to take away his most impactful camp. Warwick without red buff is a completely different champion, because levels 3 through 5, he's relying on red buff to make those plays for himself. Now he went straight from bottom to mid. Some people would recall from this position, but this way he gets a little bit of extra action here. Yasuo gets the kill. It's really a trade-off. So then Warwick has to decide what to do with this wave. So my question for you guys, hashtag StratChat, what do you do with this wave as a Warwick? Let's turn on the red vision. You know that you blue side cleared. You assume that the Kayn red side cleared, although it doesn't look like they had any vision, so they may not know. What do you do as Warwick in this situation? Do you touch this wave? What happens? So the important things to identify: number of minions and position of the wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 6. Also, we have an HP lead, and the wave is still in the middle. If it were all the way up, then there'd be a chance that if it were a cannon wave spawning at 2:30 or reaching the wave at 2:30 or at 4 minutes, then it would be able to come back. But in this case, it's already coming back out to Akali or to Wei. So even though you've got Wei with no teleport, Wei's going to be able to pick this up. So you absolutely do not want to touch this wave. This guy ends up not getting the assist, no big deal, but correctly he leaves this behind. This wave goes, and you can see it goes a little bit further than you wanted to stick right there. Ultimately, let's go back. Let's see this same wave state and actually make it a correct informed decision based on that 7 versus 6 and the fact that some of these minions, that's what it was, some of these minions were still attacking Yasuo. They moved their aggro. This E maybe should have been enough. You can come through, you can kill one of these casters to slow this wave down a little bit because of the lack of HP, right? Because you're missing so much HP, this wave actually goes all the way under turret, and it ends up forcing Wei into an awkward spot where now this wave rebounds, and since it makes it all the way to the turret, the casters are still outside, but this is not enough to hold a freeze. All right, this is going to bounce out eventually. Yasuo can just shove it all the way in, but this kind of puts Wei in a really awkward spot against Yasuo, who's going to counter him. He's going to be able to get in a lot of good fights from this spot. Now, Warwick ends up going gank to gank. I get away with this. I end up being kind of slow on my return. I decide to take Scuttle again because it's Warwick's next best camp after red. It takes him forever to clear these, so it should give me some time. Right now I can anticipate that he's up on Krugs, and then I can go through and finish the rest of my clear. And so I get 8 camps, right? Rather than 6, rather than 7. Warwick's going to be spending less money, even though he got those ganks off. He's got an inferior position. If we turn back on the toggle right here, as he finishes this camp, he's only just hitting 4. I'm 4 and then some. Right, so you can look, I'm 4 and 60%. He's 4, so I'm up more than a half level. Also, if you look at gold, even though he got that gank off, I'm up 100 gold or 50 gold. So that decision, you have to be very careful about when and where you decide to make a play. Now, that said, that lead is expressed right here. Vayne's got 700 extra gold on Ashe. So was it worth it? Yes, absolutely. But now you have to change your mindset. If you're the Warwick in this game, you now have to change your ideas about how this game is played. You now have to play entirely towards Vayne. You shouldn't do anything else except play towards Vayne. And since Vayne is going to hard counter Ashe in those 1v1s anyways, you want to continue making as much effort down here. So this is actually a good play. You go off, you take a camp, you take Dragon, you come, you support bot for their play. You can even go take your Gromp. This is fine. He'll be level 5. We'll see what he does next. The play should be come straight back down to bot. Use bot as a leverage for Prio to get into my southern quadrant. And if he can go into this area, then he's going to get something. This little trade-off, what I was thinking as it was happening, hold on, let me go see, because I suspected that they had vision of me, but I'm not positive. Where did they see me? If and where? All right, so they saw that ward. He stepped back and then he came back. So they don't actually see me until I come back in this way. But Akali had already hovered over. Big winner though. Zach gets to win in this situation. Akali should be stronger right here, but this was a little bit inty. I went and I get the camp, but it's still not enough. It's just definitely not worth it. It's giving Warwick resources on this side of the map. The only upside to it is it's going to give Ashe some time on the bottom. They end up winning the 2v2 and Ashe wins this anyways. But this kind of speaks to what Warwick should be thinking. If we change this, if we change up the viewpoint, instead of spending any time contesting for Raptors versus a Kayn, if you live down bottom, maybe you're swinging this. So this is, you can say hindsight's 2020, but remember when I said that you should recall? From this point, we said that it should be recall and come back bottom. Use bot prio and the bot lead to go leverage through bottom. Look at this fat shutdown. All right, if you can protect this, you know that our team's looking at this. We're looking to go fetch this, and we're going to make everything possible. Plus, we have Lux Ashe, which at 6 is going to be highly lethal anyways. There might be chances where we can go slow into stun, into root, into full burst damage against the Vayne. If she's able to get her ultimate off, she should always win. But right now, with no summoner spells, missing exhaust, this is definitely a vulnerable window. And if you're the Warwick, you want to protect this like it's your egg. All right, you have to be a brood mother. Because let's watch what happens down bottom. They should be risk averse. They're not always going to do it. It is solo queue. They're not always going to do the right play. Coming out right here, this is showing that Vayne is looking to be aggressive. Not something I would necessarily recommend in this spot. You're just trying to withstand, wait for the burst, wait for the push. All right, your wave is going to stack up nicely here. The longer it stays here, the better. Putting Q on cooldown, not necessary. You can get those with the help of the support. So as we approach right here, you should be looking to take no hits. Avoid that, stand in the middle of the minion wave. It's good against both of these champions. So Vayne's already doing herself a little bit of a disfavor by putting herself so far forward. I can tell what she's thinking. She knows she's stronger, right? Let's get off the gold graph and actually go over here. The problem is it's not that much stronger. Yes, it is a lot stronger. Don't get me wrong. 15 attack damage, 30 attack damage versus right here. So 45 versus 20, not close. Plus you've got the move speed. It's not close. It shouldn't be close. However, Lux deals a lot of extra damage and you're letting yourself get chunked. There is a condition where this stops being good for you. Cannon is like an extra champion. So your extra AD, if you take this fight and there's a cannon hitting you, you don't actually necessarily win this all the way. This cannon's a little bit confused. It's just out of range. But now we're going to see the difference between no exhaust, you have no flash. They're going to deal just enough here. If Ashe has the movement and the wherewithal to dodge this, they just cleanly get this kill and it's no big deal. You never, ever, ever want to take this risk as the Vayne. You do not do this. And this is why Warwick doesn't need to do this play either. You can come through here. Look at these respawn timers. You know that they're coming up 7 minutes into the game. You know these camps are coming up. If instead of going for just two camps here, you go for bot prio, and then you say, all right, my team is stronger. Let me start leveraging into here. Instead of jungling this way, you start jungling this way. And that way you're always on the side of the map to protect your biggest asset. Vayne is your win condition. There's no mistake about it. Wei is countered by Yasuo. Zach is always going to be useful, even if it's Akali, right? Akali is going to get wedged late in games. It's very hard to pilot this champion. So this is what you can do differently. That's where I'll leave you guys. I got to go pick up the kiddos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate the thumbs up and the support. I will catch you guys next time. We'll be live tomorrow, hopefully all day.